All right, one more thing I wanted to hit on before getting to our interview with Brian Stoltz of Auburn Undercover. Sticking in that same state, let's kick it on down to Tuscaloosa, where the Crimson Tide got a little bonus here, bonus addition to the roster on Tuesday because Vanderbilt offensive tackle Tyler Sheen, this is a guy we've referenced several times on the show, played in 10 games last season for the Commodores, got 2 seasons of eligibility remaining, an offensive tackle prospect that LSU was after, Kentucky was after, I believe Ole Miss was after, I know Tennessee was after. I mean, this guy had an offer list that was very, very impressive. He's continuing his career at Tuscaloosa, going to play with Bryce Young and company. And, this is a big pickup for the Crimson Tide because they got a new offensive line coach. They've lost both their starting tackles, and they just don't have the numbers that they're used to having on the offensive line down there in Tuscaloosa. And that is something that Bryce Young, hey, credit Nick Saban for letting his quarterback meet with the media here a couple times during spring practice. But the reigning Heisman Trophy winner was asked about this on Tuesday, picking up former Vanderbilt offensive tackle Tyler Sheen. Here's Bryce Young.
We heard from Tyler Steen today saying he was going to be transferring to Alabama from Vanderbilt. Just what's it like to add an offensive lineman at this point in the process?
Yes, it's really big. Anytime we can, get help at a position like that, it's huge. This spring has been really, really tough on our offensive linemen with us having the small amount of numbers that we've had throughout practice. I'm super proud of those guys and how they've competed, how they've worked. The amount of linemen we've had and the amount of reps they've gotten is something I've never seen before. And they've done it all without complaining. And I'm glad that, when spring's over, we're going to get Darian E. We're going to get James back, and then now we're going to add one more. So it's definitely going to help our depth. And I'm excited for him to come in. So, I'm just excited, and, I trust us, and us doing the right thing.
But that wasn't the only noteworthy comment there from Bryce Young. Another position of need there for in Tuscaloosa this offseason is receiver. Now, they got plenty of talented guys. Of course, Ajay Hall in the transfer portal now. He ain't coming back based on, Nick Saban's comments on has no idea, doesn't seem to care what happens to Ajay Hall after whatever went on behind the scenes. But we know we're getting Jermaine Burton coming into a money year, leaving the defending national champions for Alabama. He's making a business decision there. His numbers should explode in this offense, going from, Stetson Bennett to Bryce Young as his quarterback. You got to think Jermaine Burton is going to be locked into one of those starting roles. But, Bryce Young comments there, pretty fired up about the receivers they have on hand. Well, the good news could be continuing here for the Crimson Tide because a receiver just went into the transfer portal here on Tuesday, and rumor has it he's headed to Alabama, so he's already got a destination in mind, and that's former Louisville receiver Tyler Harrell, who apparently was the fastest player on Louisville's team, and he had 18 catches, 253 yards, 6 touchdowns. Those 6 touchdowns led Louisville last season, so you're getting a productive player potentially. It's unfair to compare this guy to Jameson Williams, who, he just tore his ACL. He's probably still going to be a first-round pick. He was that damn good last season for the Crimson Tide. But if this Harrell can fill a similar role when it just comes to the vertical passing game that Jameson Williams was able to just torch opposing defenses with last season, if this Harrell can fill that role, that's just another piece of the puzzle for the Crimson Tide, who are looking to, and let's not forget, they're the reigning SEC champions, fell just short in the national championship game after falling to, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs. But, man, Alabama, they're very choosy with who they go after in the transfer portal, and we're talking about five or six key impact players that may very well all be starters that the Alabama Crimson Tide are getting out of the transfer portal this offseason.